The things we're fighting will destroy them all alike. You can still help a lot more than you've harmed, Clegane. It's not too late for you.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 prediction video. I will be continuing with my character breakdowns. I plan on doing every character, but today I will be covering our favorite Clegane, which is Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound. I think this is a favorite character for a lot of people. The Hound has had a very interesting character arc in my opinion, and I am really excited to see the Hound continue to grow and transform into a completely different person than the one we first met. In this video, I want to give my predictions for some of the things that I think we can see this character do in the final season. There is one thing I am really looking forward to when it comes to the Hound's storyline next season. Well, there are several things I want to see the Hound do, but there is one reunion I am dying to see. Out of all the characters in this show, one of my favorite duos was when the Hound and Arya were traveling together, and these two will finally meet again in Season 8, and I think this will happen in the very first episode. Arya Stark is currently in Winterfell, and the Hound will be there very soon. We last saw the Hound in the Season 7 finale when everyone was at the Dragon Pit, but pretty much all of those characters are heading back to Winterfell to prepare for the war. I think Arya is going to be very surprised to see that the Hound is still alive, and although she once had him on her list, I believe she will be happy to see him again. I can't wait to see the look on the Hound's face when he realizes what type of badass Arya is now, and I would love to see these two fight side by side against the army of the dead. I believe Jon and Daenerys will arrive in Winterfell in the first episode of Season 8, and the Hound should still be in their party. One of the main reasons why I am really looking forward to the Great War is because of all the characters that will be fighting together. Besides the few characters that have sworn fealty to Cersei, we will see every other character in the North fighting, and the Hound will be one of those people. Another thing that should be interesting to see is how Brienne and the Hound's relationship grows from here on out.
She's alive. Arya.
Where?
Winterfell.
Who's protecting her if you're here?
The only one that needs protecting is the one that gets in her way.
It won't be me.
The Hound and Brienne reunited right outside of the Dragon Pit, and neither of them seem to really have any ill will toward each other. So I think we could be seeing these two characters fight side by side too. And I think it would be very interesting if the Hound and Brienne ended up saving each other on the battlefield. They nearly killed each other not too long ago, but now that time has passed and they know they are working on the same team, I think their relationship can really blossom in the future. I think the Hound does respect Brienne's fighting ability, although she did kick his ass, but I think it would be cool if the Hound saved her from being killed, and that would kinda let her know that there is no bad blood between them. And she may even be glad he didn't die. They may not do something like this, but I think there is something there, and I wouldn't mind if they did that. It could be very similar to how the Hound and Bronn almost fought, but then Bronn saved the Hound on the beach of Blackwater Bay. It would be a nice reminder that maybe they need each other more than they think. They could get a lot more done if they all work together, and I think we will see this kind of theme continue to play out next season. Some of these characters may have had bad blood in the past, but now they need each other, and their only way to win is if they work together. Jon gave this exact speech when he was in the cave with Daenerys, and there was another example of this when Jon and his companions went beyond the wall. Tormund hated Jorah's dad, Gendry hated the Brotherhood, and so on and so forth, but when they came together, they completed their mission. I don't think there is one person in Westeros who loves the Hound as a person, but Arya eventually took him off her list, and the Hound and Brienne didn't come to blows when they reunited. Now that the army of the dead is knocking on their back door, they will soon find themselves depending on one another to survive. I believe the Hound still has a purpose that is yet to serve. The Lord of Light is keeping him alive, and I am thinking he will step up and do something big next season.
What matters, I believe, is that there's something greater than us. And whatever it is, it's got plans for Sandor Clegane.
I think the Hound will end up saving someone's life, and we may even see him throw himself into the fight to save someone else. Thoros of Myr stepped in front of the bear to save the Hound beyond the wall, and I think the Hound will repay that debt by doing that for someone else next season. But I don't think he has to die in order to do this. Sandor could easily die in battle, but I actually think he will survive everything. I know that might be hard for some people to believe because of the type of warrior he is, but the Hound falls under the cripples, bastards, and broken things category of characters. And those are the characters that I think will make it until the bitter end. They were the characters who were laughed at and given no love. People were always looking down on them because they never thought they would really amount to much. But they are about to be the front line of defense, and they will be putting their lives on the line to save the entire realm. The cripples, bastards, and broken things will end up being the most important characters in the whole series, and the Hound is one of those characters in my opinion. Out of all the soldiers who will be fighting in this war, the Hound is one of the very few all-stars on this team. The Night King is going to wish the Hound died beyond the wall because the Hound is going to wreck shop against the army of the dead. I know Jon will gladly supply everyone with dragon glass, but I am also hoping the Hound can use a Valyrian steel sword during the war.
You're not a good listener.
Valyrian steel. I always wanted some Valyrian steel.
Come with me, Arya.
This will be the first time during the entire show that all of the Valyrian steel weapons will be in the same place at the same time. Arya Stark will continue to use her Valyrian steel dagger, along with Needle. Brienne of Tarth will continue to use her Valyrian steel sword Oathkeeper, but there are a few other ones that can possibly change hands during the battle. If Jon Snow ends up riding a dragon, he could let someone use his Valyrian steel sword Longclaw. Jon technically wouldn't need that sword while riding on a dragon in the sky, and it would be cool if he let someone else use the sword while he rode Rhaegal, and if he does, I think the Hound could use it until they are done. Samwell Tarly also has his father's Valyrian steel sword Heartsbane, and I believe Sam will spend most of his time with Bran trying to figure out how to stop the Night King in another way. Sam could allow a much better swordsman to use Heartsbane until the Night King is defeated. That sword would be a lot more effective if it was in the hands of someone like the Hound instead of Sam. Also, Jaime Lannister will be arriving with his new Valyrian steel sword Widow's Wail. This sword was once given to Joffrey, but now that all of his sons are dead, Jaime has been the one to carry this sword. Let's be honest though, Jaime can barely hold a sword these days, and he knows this. Jaime already gave one Valyrian steel sword to a much better fighter, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did that again. So I think there is a very good chance some of these swords can get passed around until the Great War is over, and if that happens, maybe the Hound is able to use one for the time being. I think that would be pretty cool because the Hound is one of the greatest warriors they have on their team, and he is a lot more effective when he has a sword in his hands than some dragonglass weapon, but that's just my opinion. After things get settled with the Night King, there is still one more thing the Hound needs to do before he can finally rest. Before this series ends, we need the ultimate showdown between Sandor and Gregor Clegane. I know some people will think this is fan service if this happens, but I disagree. I believe this was always going to be a part of the Hound's story. He needs to face his brother and kill him for good. The Mountain has been living on borrowed time for years now, but his Judgment Day is coming next season. And the Hound even told him this during the Dragon Pit scene.
What do they do to you? Doesn't matter. It's not how it ends for you, brother. You know who's coming for you. You've always known.
I believe this is their destiny, and there's going to be one final fight to settle the score. I can't say this is the only thing that has been motivating the Hound, but he once told Arya that hate is as good as anything to keep a person going.
Hate's as good a thing as any to keep a person going. Better than most. We come across my brother. Maybe we can both cross a name off a list.
When the Hound finally faces his brother one last time, he will deliver justice to all of those people that the Mountain has raped and murdered over the past several decades. I think this old dog could have a very interesting storyline next season, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it. There are a lot of different directions they can take this in, but I believe he will reunite with Arya. And instead of fighting Brienne, they will work together and fight alongside one another. I believe the Hound will survive the Great War against the Night King because they will have to take care of the army of the dead as soon as possible, and the Hound can't die then because I need to see him take down his brother, Cain and Abel style. Let me know some of the things you think will happen with the Hound next season. Is there anything he can do that I did not mention? I would like to hear what you have to say. I want to thank everyone for stopping by to watch the video. I really appreciate that, and I also want to thank all of my Patreon supporters. I hope everyone has a good day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.